Welcome to Feral Laser, where we're getting a little bit grinchy. I decided to try my hat at making a little Grinch hat out of a $5 hat I got at the flea market. It turned out pretty good, I think. First, I turned my hat inside out, and I hooked it up into my laser and came up with a few little Grinch items. I'm using my WeCreate Lumos to do this project, and I did a little guessing on the settings, and I guessed correctly the first time. It worked out quite well. This was my first little try, and my settings, I put it at 50 and 600, and I would be able to figure that out because I actually have notes about it later on. No, I put it at 40 and 600. So yeah, there you go. That was my first kind of guess. I was looking at how much time it would take to make it, and this was my first test one, and I wasn't sure if it was going to come out okay, but it actually did. So I went with those same settings for everything, and then I made a screenshot of the settings so I could remember what they were, since they seem to change every time you close your stuff. So here we go. There's my first try. It turned out pretty good. I didn't know what I was going to expect it to look like. I've seen a lot of these hats, and they're turned kind of black or brown looking, and I like that it turned just a darker green. And this hat has a red inside, so I'm going to try it on the inside and the outside. But right now I'm doing the outside. Most people use a great big laser to do this, and I thought, why not try the Lumos? It's smaller, and could be kind of a fun thing to add to hats when you're out at an event. So here's a few tries of my little designs that I was coming up with. That came out really great. I like the way the Grinch looks. And I went in and found me a few more items, like some cute little Grinch style quotes from Creative Fabrica. And if you don't know about Creative Fabrica, that is the place to go for some cheap files. $3.99 a month, and they're not paying me to say this, but I love them. I can get like a ton of stuff from there. I use way more than that every day because I get files from them every day, and usually dozens and dozens of files every day. So they're a real lifesaver. You have to download the files, then you have to extract the files because they're always zipped up. And then after you extract them, you have to put them into your WeCreate software. And in your WeCreate software, when you put some files in, they're going to come up in a giant bundle, like little pieces. And if you don't connect all those little pieces together, you're going to end up with a bunch of crazy little pieces that are separate. So make sure you group those when they come in like that. And some of these that I used today did that. They came in groups. So that's just a quick note on that. Make sure you bundle and group up your things. So here's a file that I did. Going into my downloads, open the folder, and find the right thing. There we go. There's a folder. Look at me. I'm struggling here, man. I don't know what I did. I guess I didn't actually download that thing. Let me go download it and get it again. All right. There, now I think it's going to happen. Let's check it out. Okay, I've got 2 files. So, the first one, I'm going to go through and find something that looks like a cool idea. And when you open up these files, you're going to have a lot of options of which thing to choose. I picked the one with a little blue picture on it. That way I remember that's the one that works for my computer. This one came as a single piece, so that was all right. I didn't have to group it. But some of the others do have to be grouped. Just remember that when you're adding in pictures. I add in several that I like. That one didn't need to be grouped. Yeah, there we go. And make it a little smaller. And I add in a whole lot of pictures, and to make it easier on myself, after I add a whole bunch, then I'll select all of them at once. I'll do like Control A, which means select all. And then I put all the settings in all of them at the same time. So I put them all at a 40 for speed and 40 for power and 600 for speed. And I kept the line density at 100 for all of these to make it work. And I just kept adding pictures and refreshing and turning the hat around until I filled the entire brim of the hat. And I got plenty of files off of all of these to be able to do that. Now, this one turned out really cute, the one that says naughty. That one looks really, really cute. Alright, resize. Got it on my page. I have refreshed this one so it's getting set up to go, and here we go. Push the magic button and watch the ferrule laser go. It's actually kind of fun watching this thing engrave. The way it bounces around and flashes the little lights. I'm easily entertained. So there. Putting the naughty thing on there, and most of these took about a minute to a minute and a half each to engrave, so they weren't too bad. So altogether, I probably spent like an hour total on this entire thing from start to finish. So it didn't take me that long to do. It took me a minute just to get the first one set up, but after that it went pretty fast. If you're trying to do a hat and you don't have a big laser, this is a really great option. And I might just put the little cone on it later and do a design on the brim, not the brim, but the top crown of the hat to have a design right there. So, yeah, there's one more done. It came out really, really nice. I love it. Cute, cute, cute. And the more you angle these, the better you can see the design, so it's kind of fun. And I had this hat sitting around for a year and didn't do anything with it. I can't believe that. There's all the top brim done. Now I will figure out what I want to do on the bottom part of it. I flipped it back the right way up there. So on the bottom, I did some of the same and some different designs. A few little cute things. And finishing touches will be making my hat band, which I'm just going to use a little bit of leather strip around it and decorate it with a few little doodads and cut some tiny little pieces to match. So check it out and try it yourself. This is really not a hard project, and with a cheap hat like this, it is a great project. I don't know how I managed to get such a great deal on that hat, because I looked it up on Amazon and the same hat is $30. So here I just used a couple of leather scraps, made me a strap and a couple of cute pictures to stick on there for decoration. And I have a fancy, fancy hat for $5. You cannot beat that. Join me at Ferrule Laser. Come find me and look up some of my ideas and my projects. And if you ever need help, just holler at me and I'll help you with settings and issues you might be having. I'm learning as I go, but I love to let people learn along with me. I've taught school for 40 years. I taught art. So teaching other people how to do things like this is kind of in my realm of expertise. Y'all have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you next time.